Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Babylon 5. This is season 5, episode number 7. This episode is called Secrets of the Soul. So the past few episodes have been very interesting to watch because I finally watched the credits and we learned that Susan just isn't here anymore. And we've only really had 2 mentions of Susan since the start of the season that I can remember. And that was John in the first episode when he mentioned Lockley being Susan's replacement, and the 2 maintenance men when they mentioned Susan and her transfer. It feels to me like there is something missing without her, if I'm being honest. It doesn't feel whole, and I don't know if I've processed that yet or if I've come to terms with not seeing her all the time. It feels different here without her, and I kind of think to myself, is that because she was basically the glue that kept this together, like the team together? Even as angry as she was toward Michael, she never resolved those issues with Michael that we saw because she was transferring after Marcus died. So it's like, without Susan, I actually feel a little bit lost, if I'm being honest, and it's a strange feeling to have. I love that we've got everybody else still here, but I do feel like we've got less Jakar, less Londo. We're more focused on Delenn and John, which is actually quite nice because in the run-up to their relationship, I was like, we need more of this, we need more of this, and now we finally got more of it. But I miss Susan quite a great deal, actually, and I don't know, there's just something, I haven't processed it yet. Hopefully I'll get there eventually, but I still feel like I'm missing something pretty big, and that's Susan. So it's going to be interesting to see if we kind of get mention of her through the rest of the series, or if that is all we're going to get. So I'm going to get on into this, let's go.
They don't have any money, any transit papers, half of them don't even have current ID.
We are with Byron.
Oh.
We were told we could come here. This is not the right place.
No, it is.
This is where we are gathering.
Yeah, it's the right place. But this is getting out of hand. How many more of you people are coming here?
Oh,
Until
Lita's
someone
donned
finally
the
hit
black.
upon the answer.
Lita has
How many angels can
donned
dance on the head of a
black.
pin? How many of my brother and sister telepaths are coming? As many as want to.
I hope Lita and Zach don't fall out because their friendship is one of my
Right,
favourite
go on.
things.
Come on, move, go. Lita, can I talk to you for a minute, please?
Oh, no.
Those guys are gonna be trouble yet. You just watch and see. There's more going on here than they're telling us.
Would you like to see?
Of course, Peter.
Oh, maybe not his speech. Oh, good God. Oh, telekinesis. We saw that with Lita last episode, didn't we? Where she just absorbed Talia's powers.
Very good. What the hell are you doing with those people?
Oh.
What? What people?
Byron, the others.
Oh, I don't want them to fall out.
People. You don't understand.
No, I understand, Zach. I understand plenty.
Oh,
You and the
no.
others needed my help during the Shadow War, and I did that.
Yeah.
I put my life on the line. And what did I get?
She got trapped like shit.
You were going to boot me into smaller quarters because I couldn't afford anything better? The only way I got out of that was to rejoin the Psi Corps, and you don't even want to know the deal I had to make to pull that one off.
Lita.
I'm not finished.
Her body.
After all that, you had the nerve to ask me to risk my life a second time during the Civil War back home, and stupid me, I did it. Now along comes Byron. And for the first time in a long while, I feel like someone actually cares about what happens to me.
I care what happens to you, Lita.
Yeah, well, maybe that's true.
It is true.
Talk is cheap, Zach.
If you could just give me 5 minutes.
Zach.
I would give Zach all
Byron
day.
asked me to follow him into hell.
She probably
I'd
would.
do it gladly with a smile on my face, because I believe in him. What could you possibly say in 5 minutes that would change that?
I appreciate you seeing me, Ambassador.
I did nothing but relay your request to the Grand Council of Elders.
Oh!
The Shpa himself approved your request.
Hi.
Shpa.
One of
Doesn't that
their
translate
gods?
to oldest of the old?
Yes.
Like a first one?
We're a gerontocracy, ruled by the oldest of our people.
My apologies for being late.
Oh, she did
The
knock
doctor was
or
just
ring.
explaining what he needs from us.
Well, it's nothing major, at least at this stage.
Like blood samples, that kind of stuff.
We would like access to your genetic records and medical files so that we could better understand your people.
Until now, we have kept our medical information to ourselves. to
I
prevent
think
others
most
from using it
species
against
probably
us.
would have, yeah.
We've never given it to an outsider.
As a doctor, I'm bound by an oath of confidentiality, so whatever you give me, will be considered privileged information.
He is asking us to risk our lives on his promise. Is it wrong to ask the same of him?
You aren't asking anything that I haven't already considered, and the answer is yes.
I believe
I
he
would
would.
die before I allow my work to be used in biogenetic warfare.
We saw that.
Anything else, Kitty?
No. Thank you, Doctor.
You go on ahead. I'll catch up.
Or something's going to happen to him. Oh, he seems nice as well. He reminds me a bit of Simon. You know who dies? Is it going to be that guy again? Yeah.
The hell are you doing down here, freak? He was just. Hey, you brought lunch. Let me see. Let me see.
Oh. Oh, what's he going to do?
What are you looking at, freak? I said, what are you? Go, look out!
Oh.
Take it easy. Get easy.
Yeah, he did not mean to end up down here today.
Why aren't you working on him?
I've got my best trauma team handling his case. Right? They can't handle it, nobody can. Now, do you know what happened?
God, look at everyone
Yes,
just
she was
looking
attacked
in.
by one of you.
Right, did you get a description of who did this?
No,
But he'll know.
but I believe we know who was responsible.
Oh, dear Lord.
I didn't do anything. Stop!
Oh.
Byron.
Fritz! Hold it right there.
Jackie, stop. Let him go. Listen to me. He didn't do anything.
Doesn't look that way to me. It's all right, Lisa.
Search all available files for any records from any of the other races.
Oh.
Some of them have been in contact with the Hayek for a long time. Maybe they've
And the
got something
Minbari
more.
have been around a very
Stand
long
by.
time. And the Centauri.
Picked up another shipment of Kylie grain for Dark Moon ceremony. We had a sighting of Hyacto.
I like
very
how the
rare.
translation doesn't
Came
match
into
his
our
lip movement.
encampment and asked to come with us. For our contract, we refused and notified those in charge of collection. Expect to arrive in Homeland in 24.
Stop.
We had a sighting of Hyacto.
Computer, is there any reference to Hyacto in any of the current Hayek literature?
Probably not.
Negative.
Check alien records.
Cross-reference.
Cross-reference with Hayacto. The Hayacto, they're all dead, aren't they? It's a case of parallel evolution. 2 sentient races developed on your world. The other race splitting off from the main line about 1 million years ago, like the Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon on Earth.
At first, we competed for living space,
Oh.
resources. Then we learned to live together. For a time.
There was intermarrying between the two sides, wasn't there?
Religious laws were passed that made it immoral for one line to marry into the other.
Oh.
Then immoral became illegal, then illegal, punishable by death, and then
And then it just became more efficient for you to wipe out the entire race.
Shit.
they were hunted down in every corner of our world. They were forbidden to leave our homeland. They tried to slip away.
But they
But
were
any
caught.
captain found transporting them was subject to arrest and execution. Take a look at the numbers for our population growth.
As it slowed down.
Birth rate is down nearly 20%. Looks like it's been decreasing steadily for centuries, but
Because they stopped the intermarriage.
something in your biological makeup is breaking down. You needed the Hayacto, didn't you? You needed something in their DNA to keep your species growing through interbreeding.
Shit.
Without it,
We are dying. We killed the Hayacto. And in so doing, we killed ourselves.
Yes.
Word is, he and the other guy who got attacked hassled you a bunch the other day.
Yes.
Maybe even attacked one of your guys. Now one's in serious condition, the other's dead. I don't suppose you know anything about that.
Other than the
How would
bruising
I be
on his
here the whole
face.
time? One thing, I suspect if you had not kept me locked up here all day,
That guy
there
would
might
be
be
alive.
one less dead body in your morgue.
Byron, the Vorlons changed me.
More than you could possibly know.
She got to show him the gills.
I don't know what it'll do once you get past my barriers and I get past yours.
Oh!
It could burn you.
Talia once talked, I think, about relationships between telepaths and how, like, consuming it can get. That's slightly awkward, though. Takes me... Jesus, lady! Oh, she just letting him all the way in. There was not a pun intended. Are we going back to the beginning?
I can't feel that.
What the hell? Holy shit. What the hell were those Vorlons doing?
The Volans are gone, Byron. There's no one left to settle the score.
But the other races are still here.
Oh,
We were made telepathic to serve their cause.
yeah,
Save their worlds. Now they have to recognize that.
this might
They have to
backfire on
understand that They are
Lita.
responsible for us, for our condition.
On everybody.
They have to make it right, Lita. We'll force them to make it right
How?
by giving us a homeland of our own.
And if they can't?
I'm not sure John can be persuaded, really. Unless it's Dylan. Or Susan. He's a pretty stubborn dude.
Then we'll make sure they have no other choice.
This was not what I was expecting at all, really. Seeing Stephen go through his new role for the Alliance of gathering all of this information, and I at the start thought maybe it was something to do with the souls or the Minbari or the soul hunters, but it wasn't. It was actually about this other race which had very little information, considering they were a very old race. They had, I think it was 800 years worth of info in their systems, and Stephen was trying to get more from them so that he could try and build this catalogue for the Alliance. And I loved that scene at the start with the Pak'ma'ra. That was brilliant, where the Pak'ma'ra was sick onto the window. And Stephen asking for the information, we saw that the attaché was very reluctant, and I was thinking something's being hidden here. But then to learn that there was these two races on their planet, it reminded me a lot of, things that have happened on Earth in history with the segregation of, different religions or different peoples, and, making it illegal to marry someone from a different religion as you. And it kind of made me think of that a little bit. And it was interesting to see that, these people were like, well, we actually kind of took it to the level of making it illegal, and then it was punishable by death. And then we then started killing these people, but then realized we actually needed those people to survive ourselves. And they had 100% just shot themselves in the foot. And Stephen, being Stephen, was just like, this is going to take a long time to fix if we can fix it, but now is kind of the time to get going. And these people were rightly so very ashamed of what they'd done. And then having the other side of this episode with Lita and Zach. I adore Zach beyond words. He is one of my favourite people, and all I ever want Zach to do is to re-ask Lita out. But I think it's probably now got to the stage where now with Byron here, that is probably not something that's going to happen. And seeing him fighting with his emotions in regard to Lita and the Byron situation, and does he do his job? Does he let Byron out early? Does he keep him in there like he's probably supposed to? Was interesting to see. We've not really seen that side of Zach before, and I just adore watching him. I think he's brilliant. And then obviously we've got Lita's relationship with Byron and the other telepaths, where she feels like she's finally found somewhere where she can belong, even though she wasn't sure she was welcomed. They did welcome her, but that end scene was interesting where she let him in, because I think it was Talia, I could be wrong, where we met Talia's ex-husband, and when we met Jason, and she was talking about how a telepath's relationship with another telepath was this all-consuming love, and it was very powerful to let somebody in that way, and that's why she was always so reluctant to start relationships. And we saw how Talia would always push back against Michael, but then we were starting to get that relationship building with Susan when everything went to shit. And then to see that accumulate accumulate between Lita and Byron, and her letting Byron in and then seeing what the Vorlons did to her, where she was in like a Bacta tank basically, and you know, we saw the tubes in her, and then we started to see all of these bodies, and it was like, holy shit. At first I thought experimentation, and then obviously it was the whole them creating telepaths to fight the war scenario, and to actually see that with all of those test tubes was not something I ever expected. But that reflection of the two Vorlons made my day, because I missed them, and seeing just two of them there, one of which I'm assuming was Kosh, it was just astounding for me. I loved it. But now that Lita has let Byron in to the extent that she has, we saw Byron's face right at the end. This is going to be bad, because even though Byron said we can go speak to the Alliance, I don't think his conversation with John is possibly going to go the way that he hopes it will, and him wanting a new planet. I'm just under the impression of just let them go down and live with Dral. Dral would probably be happy to let them go down and live there with him and the multiple Zathras that he's got down there. So it is going to be interesting to see how they move forward with this one. I may go watch the next one, and I will see you guys later, so thank you.